on.
And welcome to Skyline College in San Bruno. Ben Ross alongside Kylan Mills. A windy afternoon here up on the hill at Skyline College. But boy, this is going to be a fun matchup today. The San Francisco Glens 4-0. Stockton Cargo SC at 2-2. And as you talked about, Kylan, #1 in the national power rankings for this San Francisco Glens team. What's been working for them and what are you looking forward to seeing today?
The Glens have so much talent from top to bottom of their roster. This is a team that likes to build the ball out of the back, shift the ball from side to side to create some chaos for defenses, get them out of shape, and then look to exploit the spaces in behind. The Glens also will look to play their wingers really high and wide because they want to isolate those players in 1v1 situations. The wings for this Glens team specifically, so talented, but they've got dangerous players all around the field who've been scoring in so many different ways throughout this USLW season.
You talk about scoring goals, and both of these teams actually have big-time goal scorers. Nadia Gomes for the Glens, Alexis Brua for Stockton Cargo SC, both elite talents.
Gomes' speed is elite. Also, her technical ability, so difficult to stop. She's a player who's really tough to defend because of that explosion, the change of space after she makes a move. She is so tough to stop. Gomes also has a really strong left foot. She can strike from distance, especially on that left side of the pitch. She is a player that absolutely teams have not been able to stop. She has scored in so many different ways. She's able to cut middle. She's able to score from the outside. She can swing crosses in. Gomes is a player who is so electric. She brings in professional experience playing in the NWSL for the Orlando Pride. She has been just unstoppable. On the other side for the Stockton Cargo, Alexis Brua, playing most recently with Stanislaus State. Brua is a player who is super fast as well. Just a physical specimen. She is so strong on the ball. She uses her speed to get by defenders. Look for Brua to play really high on the field. Look to press up close to that last defender, because when she can dispossess a defense or get a ball played in behind, Brua is so hard to catch because of that elite speed.
Couple of expansion clubs here in the USL Women's League, and for the San Francisco Glens atop the standings in the NorCal division, as we said, the #1 team in the national power rankings at 4-0. We'll have the starting lineups and kickoff. First, let's take a quick look at the standings just to prove that they are indeed 4-0 and plus 20 goal differential. We'll pause for the national anthem, starting lineups, and opening kickoff coming up next on Cron On.
There is more to Carlsberg than meets the eye. Through the Carlsberg Foundation, almost 30% of our dividends go to science, space exploration, yachts, and the crops of the future. So no matter what happens, there will always be beer.
That one went good.
So, does this make our beer taste even better? Probably.
Welcome back to Skyline College as we are just about set for kickoff between the San Francisco Glens and Stockton Cargo SC, a couple of NorCal division rivals. The Glens coming in a perfect 4-0 on the season, 21 goals scored, just 1 goal allowed. And that has them at #1 in the national power rankings in the USL Women's League. Stockton Cargo 2-2. They've scored 11 goals this year and have allowed 9. And now let's get you our starting lineups presented by Carlsberg. And this is a look at the visiting Stockton Cargo SC. Pull it up on my phone here as well. We got these rosters late, but they are in. Mia Collins will be the goalkeeper. It's interesting, this Stockton team has sort of alternated goalkeepers throughout the year. Mia Collins 1-1 in her 2 games. and 4 goals allowed. And we talked about Alexis Brua. She's going to be certainly one to watch, number 10 for Stockton Cargo, with 5 goals this season, including one in the team's last game. For the San Francisco Glens, a little bit of a different look today. There were a few players who were unavailable to play in this match, but still lots of talent on the pitch. Isa Banuelos in goal, and she has 3 shutouts, 3 clean sheets, just 1 goal allowed in 4 matches so far this season. The goalkeeper out of St. Mary's, Nadia Gomes, number 7, has also been terrific. We talked about her in the open with 5 goals this year. And as you said, Kylan, elite speed. You're going to see a lot of speed up and down this roster for the Glens.
The Glens are just loaded with talent. It's fascinating because you look at this lineup being so different than the last couple of games. Certain players you pointed out being unavailable, but there is just so much talent and so many different players who can score. They've had a flurry of goals coming from all different parts of the field. You can't sleep on really any of the Glens players out there. For example, Mia Buddha is stepping in here, and she is just 16 years old, the first Indian American soccer player to represent the U.S. at any level in the World Cup. She competed with the U.S. youth national team at the U17 level. And it's just incredible to look at the level of talent just from top to bottom of this Glen side. And some of the young players who've been competing too. I know that's something that Coach Mike Sharabi talked with us about, is that they've had points where they've got 2 16-year-olds playing at center back in certain matchups. They've had 16, 17-year-olds starting in this Glens lineup, and they've still been able to come up with such incredible results. That speaks to the level of talent they are drawing into this Glens W League side. Really, really fun to watch.
And I think that's one of the cool things about it, too. You talk about some of those young players. We're looking at a lot of these Glens players, and you're going to see them on the national and the international stages in the years to come. Some of those 15, 16-year-old players. But also currently, you talk about someone like Nadia Gomes from Portugal, you know, trying to earn a World Cup spot. Someone like Amy Sayer from Stanford, but also from Sydney, Australia, potentially could be on the Australian World Cup team. And yeah, it has been fun to watch them so far this year through 4 games. We'll see if Stockton Cargo can slow down this high-powered attack from the Glens, averaging better than 5 goals per game so far this season. Let's take a look at our officials for today's match. The second of our doubleheader this afternoon. We saw the San Francisco Glens men's team play to a 1-1 tie against Davis Legacy.
Another player to watch here in this Glens lineup. On the near side, you see number 24 lining up on the near side of your screen, Miri O'Donnell, a 16-year-old who's been a regular throughout the years on the U.S. youth national team at various levels, plays for FC Bay Area Surf, was identified by Top Drawer Soccer as a player to watch in this W League season, being one of the best young players across the country. She's a player who Coach Sharabi mentioned, really creative, confident in the attack, is a goal scorer with a nose for goal. She's a player you'll want to keep an eye on up here lined up on this left flank.
And we're underway. The Glens in the green kits. Stockton Cargo SC in the white. As the Glens moving right to left, they have the wind at their backs in this first half. And let's see how they come out. They trailed for the first time this season last match after giving up the first goal to Olympic Club. Responded pretty well. 6 unanswered goals to get the 6-1 win and improve to 4-0.
Yeah, you could say that's a pretty decent response from going down 1-0, knocking in 6 goals. Something that Coach Sharabi mentioned about that matchup is it was a good test for his team in terms of the character and the response from his group. This is a team that has been dominating match in and match out. That was really their first experience with any sort of adversity, going down a goal. Coach Sharabi felt like it was a good opportunity for his players to really dig deep, show some of that character, and to come back and respond in the face of adversity. They did exactly that. He was really happy with the way the group bounced back.
Glens opened the season with a 7-0 win over Academica SC. Then went on the road and played Academica and beat them 5-0. Another shutout against Marin FC Siren 3-0. And last match, as we mentioned, against Olympic Club, a 6-1 victory to get to 4-0. For Stockton, 2-2 on the year, a 3-2 loss to start against Oakland Soul SC, then a 3-2 win over Marin FC Sirens, a 5-2 win over Academica SC, and their last match coming Wednesday, a 2-1 road loss against the California Storm.
This Glens team is so fun to watch because they play such a pretty possession style of soccer. You can already see it, the passing, the ball movement on the ground, working it like right to left, and then trying to move forward and break lines. It's a style of soccer that you see often featured in Europe. They don't play super direct. And like I said, to me, just a really beautiful version of the game. Excited to see what so many of these talented players in that style are able to produce today. It's interesting, you've got Nadia Gomes out there on the right wing. You just saw her pressing the ball a little bit, but she's a player who has a really strong left foot. It's something we actually just talked about during the men's matchup as well, because the Glens had their lefty, Junior Mahi, playing on the right wing. One of the positives of that situation is when you have a player with that strong left foot on the right side, they can cut middle and then take a shot on goal themselves rather than looking to go end line and drop it back for a teammate. Or they have to cut back to the outside to get it onto their favored foot. When you're lefty on the right side, you cut it inside, you have a great angle on goal, and then you've got that strong left foot to make a strike and take a chance.
This is Cassandra Seha for Stockton. So they try and get their attack going against a Glens team that has allowed just one goal so far this year. And it'll be a free kick for the Glens.
The defensive effort from the Glens has been so impressive, especially because they've had a variety of players competing in that back line. That's something that Coach Sharabi talked with us about, is a little bit of a challenge when you're looking at a back four that have not been consistent game in and game out, because defensively, communication and organization are the most important things. It's much easier to communicate and organize when you're comfortable with the players around you, you're familiar with the way they play and the way they like to be communicated with. The Glens have been able to come up with these results despite having a changing cast of characters, which again speaks to the level of talent of this group.
No question. Cameron Penn over for Mia Buddha, who, as Kylan mentioned earlier, making her debut today. First Indian American player to make the US U17 World Cup team. Buddha has it now. Ahead for Penn. One touch back to her, knocked away, and that'll be a throw-in for San Francisco. Buddha plays it to the other side. As we are in the 5th minute, no score between the San Francisco Glens and Stockton Cargo. Amy Sayer able to play through a little contact, and now here come the Glens. Oh, nice move. Peyton Marciz, and it ends up in the hands of Mia Collins.
Nicely done. That was just a really pretty touch, a crafty move to cut that one around the defender, and then a clean look on goal, just unfortunately not struck as cleanly as she probably would have liked.
Peyton Marciz, the midfielder from UCLA. 2 goals last game. That was the 6-1 win against Olympic Club. A lot of home games early this year for the Glens. Here's another chance for Cameron Penn. Sends it toward the center. Still loose and now cleared out. Cargo played across midfield. Anaya Shelton got her foot on it, but it goes back the other way to Buddha.
So far, some good passing from the Glens, kind of exactly what you expect to see from a team that plays possession-based. They look to build out the back. They've been swinging it around in their back four. Now they've just got to try to make that positive pass in the final third that's going to set them up for a goal-scoring opportunity here in the middle block. And even as they get into the attacking third, they're still having some nice combination. It's just a matter of that next ball that's going to put you in a goal-scoring opportunity. As we saw here, they just were dispossessed while trying to make that positive pass forward.
Into the 8th minute as that goes out of play, and another throw-in. That'll be taken by Gomes.
So as we're talking about the back line, one thing to note as well, we mentioned some changes in the lineup specifically today with the Glens not having several of the players who have been starting last couple matches available. Jenny Imethen is playing at center back, and she's a player who typically has been playing at the 6 or 8. Coach Sharabi describing her as one of the best 6s he's ever seen. Sharabi said that Imethen is fearless, a ball winner, and then also has the ability to connect. Isn't just that bulldog who's going to win the ball and boot it upfield. She's comfortable on the ball and can do something with it, has great vision on distribution. And she's a player he knows he can slide into different places too, as she's now sitting in at the center back spot. You want a player with that kind of experience and also composure on the ball playing in the center of your defense.
That versatility is crucial, especially in this league. As here come the Glens. Marciz plays it over for Gomes, down the wing. Cuts it back to the middle, shoots, and scores! Nadia Gomes with her 6th goal of the year. And it's 1-0.
I was talking about Nadia Gomes with that strong left foot playing on the right side. That sets her up to be able to cut middle, put it on her strong foot, and then take a strike on goal at a better angle than if she was playing as a lefty on the left side. Gomes did an excellent job just cutting left, getting around that defender, creating a little bit of space. She's so crafty. She's so comfortable on the ball. She has the speed to burst by you as well. She saw that look on goal, and that's just a beautifully placed left-footed finish. Well put into the upper cage. Tough for a goalkeeper to stop from the angle she was at and the spot she was at inside the 18. Nadia Gomes is a freaking goal. You know, like you say, guys are a bucket. I mean, like, can we just say that Nadia Gomes is a goal at this point?
She is a goal.
She cannot be stopped in USL W League play, and it is just incredible to watch.
An elite finish there, top shelf. And in the 9th minute, she makes it 1-0. So that is what we were waiting to see. And Gomes didn't make us wait very long. Showing that ability. A good start for the Glens. And they're on the attack again. Cameron Penn. Now Sayer. And it's cleared away.
You can see the Glens midfielders, their attackers are so comfortable working in tight spaces, and that's one reason that this offense is so elite. Even under pressure, working with several defenders around them, these players don't struggle. They're able to still execute and connecting those short little passes well under so much pressure and in a small space where there's no room for error. They aren't sending these balls out wide, you know, into areas of the field where you can run on. Just working with those short little passes around the middle of the pitch in tight spaces, they're exceptional.
Glens controlling the possession early on. The lead on a goal by Nadia Gomes, her 6th of the year, coming in the 9th minute. The 22nd goal of the year already for the Glens in just over 4 games.
By the way, super windy day out here at Skyline College. Currently, the Glens are playing with the wind at their backs, and that does impact the approach and the strategy. The wind at your back, you get to save a little bit of energy because you're not running into the wind. You also don't have to kick balls or clear them as hard because you do have the wind with you. On the attack side, you have to be a little bit careful because balls will run, and especially if you play balls in the air, they could carry.
That's interesting. I haven't noticed any wind today, Kylan. It's very mild over here in the broadcaster's tent. Chance now for Stockton Cargo. And well defended by Imathan. Plays it back for Banuelos. Another chance for Stockton. And a whistle will send it back the other way.
One thing to keep in mind with this Glens team, their defense and goalkeeper, Banuelos, have to be super careful about not falling asleep and making sure that they're staying sharp even though they may be in possession so much of the game. Especially when you're in possession and you're looking to stretch to wide areas of the field. You've got your wingers really high and wide. You can potentially be out of shape when you are dispossessed. And there can be openings and holes that other teams can exploit in transition when the Glens are dispossessed and do give up the ball. The defense, goalkeeper, you still got to stay sharp. Even though you may not be involved defensively a ton, in those moments of counterattack, you've got to be sharp and be able to shut that down. Imathan, a super smart defender. You saw her use her 1v1 defending skills right there, super composed on the ball. Just a really, really fun player to watch who did that really well. But throughout the game, that's something the Glens will have to be aware of, looking to make sure they're staying sharp in transition moments.
We're into the 13th minute at Skyline College. 1-0. The San Francisco Glens ahead on the 6th goal of the year from Nadia Gomes. Coming in the 9th minute. Trying to improve to 5-0 on the season. Ranked number 1 in the national power rankings in the USL Women's League.
Beautifully done piece of passing here and another pretty ball.
Mary O'Donnell from Penn. Into the 18. And now to the other side for Ellie Piper. She sends it high in the air, and that will be a goal kick.
Little missed hit there by Piper, but she's a player who can execute and come up from that outside back position and play a role in the attack. She's really great when swinging and crosses. She's super comfortable on the ball, a player that her head coach, Mike Shirabi, is super high on. She comes in after a really strong freshman season at Duke, started 5 matches, played in 22, had a goal and an assist, including an assist on a goal against Alabama in the NCAA quarterfinals. So she is a player young on the younger side, 19 years old, but who has experience at the highest level. And she is a player who, from that defensive role, can really slide up and be a factor in the attack when there is space out there on the right flank.
So much talent, as we've talked about on this Glens team. As Penn has a little space, drops it back for Buda. Sayer. Can she get the cross through? It's deflected. Nice turn by Marciz. Poked away from her, but good recovery defensively by Penn.
Penn has been everywhere here on this left side. She has had several really great reads where she has intercepted passes, anticipated so well, and been in the right spot at the right time to shut down any potential counterattack opportunity for Stockton.
The Cal Poly Mustang, originally from Foster City, California. Nice pass. Mary O'Donnell. O'Donnell's going to be fun to watch. Not just today, but moving forward in her career, number 24 in the green, as that's a good opportunity. Jessie Halliday couldn't quite get all of it. But going back to O'Donnell, number 24, just 16 years old. She had a hat trick earlier this season, actually in the first game, and it came in just 6 minutes. She's a really good talent who I think we're going to see and hear from for a long time.
You gotta love what Coach Shirabi said about O'Donnell as well. He mentioned in a couple of the previous games she had been coming in off the bench when there were some players ahead of her playing out here on the wing, and he said she's a player who walked right up to him and said, "Listen, Coach, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna score." And he said she's done exactly that on multiple occasions. He said you love to hear that level of confidence, the aggression from a 16-year-old. Being so determined when they come into the match to be ready, not only to play, but to be a difference maker. Coach Shirabi said O'Donnell's been exactly that for this group. He also mentioned she is elite in 1v1 chances. She can take players one-on-one with so much confidence, and she has the craftiness, the change of speed to beat players in the attack.
Wind really picking up here again at Skyline College. And for those that play here who have watched games here, certainly this is par for the course. Not unusual. It's a windy location. And It is a challenge, I think, if you're new playing, especially into the wind, which is what Stockton is doing here in this first half.
It's not easy to play into the wind at a place like this. Balls up in the air when you're trying to clear them. We just saw that on that last kick. They can completely stop midair. That one didn't 100% do a 180, but we've seen balls here do a total 180 where they come back at you when you're trying to boot it out.
The boomerang kick.
Exactly.
Good defensive play. That was Abby Kern getting in front of the shot, but it will lead to a corner kick. Condor Soccer get the new Streets of San Francisco 2023 USL League 2 collection exclusively at SF Glens home games. Next one is next Saturday at 1 p.m. versus SF City in the annual Derby here at Skyline.
Corner kick chance here for the Glens. We'll see exactly. They got two players over there with the option for a short corner. Will they send it in? And they will.
It's a good one. Punched out nicely by Collins. Glens have done a nice job with possession here in the first half. They have the 1-goal lead in the 18th minute. Good thought. O'Donnell couldn't quite get her head on it.
Not a bad little flick there. Now, something to keep in mind for the Glens when taking corner kicks here with the back at their wind. We saw in the men's matchup, it can be very easy to overhit those balls or to have the wind carry them out of bounds past the end line. You got to take that into account when swinging those balls into the box. Maybe send it or direct it a little bit farther away from goal when you normally would, knowing that it will likely curl if it's in the air due to some of the really strong winds that we're seeing. That last corner executed pretty well, a little bit closer to the near post. You'd like to see it more towards the middle or back of the six.
Here they come again. Sayer for Gomes. Already 1 goal today. Pretty good effort from the left side.
Looked like she was maybe trying to chip the goalkeeper. She didn't strike all the way through that like we've seen her do a couple other times here early in this match. But she's a player who can score in different ways. She's cheeky enough to, I wouldn't be shocked if we see her chip the keeper at some point today. But as I mentioned, she can score in a lot of different ways and is really, really strong with that left foot.
As you mentioned earlier, Kylan has played in the NWSL for the Orlando Pride. A chance perhaps to play for Portugal's World Cup team. We'll see. Off to a great start in just now her 5th game with the Glens.
Gomes didn't just play in the NWSL. She went pretty high in the 2018 draft, was selected 18th overall by the Orlando Pride, and then ended up not making the full team roster later on in the season.
Here comes Jessie Halliday down the left side, taken down. It's loose. That was a good defensive play. Ball first, a clean tackle to prevent a good scoring opportunity.
Fantastic effort defensively from Stockton. Really well-timed slide tackle, and that's the exact situation where you've got to put your body on the line and slide down to ground to prevent that ball from advancing forward. Really, really well done, gritty effort from the Stockton defense.
I don't know if you can really see it on the screen, but some of that fog is starting to roll in here. Kylan, you live nearby. You're used to this. It was sunny a moment ago, but it has cooled off quite a bit.
You typically see this right around mid-afternoon. This is the time of day where either it'll start foggy, or if it's sunny in the morning, the fog will roll in the afternoon. Luckily, the fog isn't what's going to be a problem in this match. It's the wind, because the wind has been picking up quite a bit here in the last hour.
That pass intercepted by Michaela Ratucolo. And now Stockton trying to get something going offensively. They haven't really been able to do that yet, but a nice little chip pass there and back on right wing for Anaya Shelton. She sends it into the 18. And the Glens were back.
Good defensive effort. Another clean play by the Glens defense. So far, so good. They've been able to really shut down any type of potential transition or counter opportunity for Stockton. But some good passing for the Cargo there. Alexis Brua responsible for a nice combination. Played that diagonal ball forward. She's a player to watch.
And that's going to be offside. Well, you talked about it earlier, Kylan, when you're a team like the Glens that, you know, controls possession a lot of the time, has it in the attacking end. It can be tough, especially for defenders, for a goalkeeper to stay engaged and be ready for those transition opportunities. But the Glens so far this year and today have done a pretty good job.
Only giving up 1 goal. They must have been doing a good job at that throughout the season, but we certainly have seen that today, and that's something that Coach Sharabi really complimented goalkeeper Isa Banuelos on, is her ability to stay engaged and to not be lulled to sleep when she's maybe not getting a lot of consistent action, or the Glens don't have it in their defensive third very often. But that's where those transition opportunities can be dangerous. He said she's come up with those big stops when those times have happened.
22nd minute, 1-0. Glens leading Stockton Cargo SC as that one crossed in front. And let's see, that'll be a corner. Glens play this one quickly. Sent low into the box and sent back out.
Yeah, that's tough. On the ground, there's always going to be a defender there on the near post to clear that one. So that's where you got to try to hit it with a little bit more pace in the air to try to create some chaos on the ground. Defender able to use their foot just to clear that away.
Throw in for San Francisco goes. Pops high in the air. And that'll be another corner.
Good pressure here by the Glens to keep running down and pressing on those second and third balls. Now can they create and try to get a little bit better service on the corner?
Peyton Marciz will take this corner kick. As we said, 2 goals last match for the UCLA Bruin. Brought back toward the center. From outside the box, long shot. Did that go in? It stayed out off the keeper. Collins maybe off the post. My goodness, Mia Collins, full extension. What a save.
Great save, great reaction, way to lay out. Perfect timing there by Collins, just getting a hand on that one, batting it away. You have to watch Nadia Gomes at all times with that left foot. She can strike from anywhere on the field, especially when she cuts it left, gets it on that left foot that she is so confident with. However, Collins did a good job of weathering that storm and keeping that out of net.
A phenomenal save. Laid out. It almost went in. Hit the inner half of the post, but stayed out. That close to a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, another one. You got to feel like it's coming for the Glens. They've created a couple of chances. You feel like they're just going to get on the end of one here soon.
Leilani Cortez Ramirez tried to keep it in play, but couldn't do so.
And down here on that right flank, that's Alexis Rua. One thing she's really good at is just applying a lot of pressure to defenses. She's super physical. She's relentless in trying to win the ball back and putting defenses under pressure so they can't work it out easily. She's a player that's hard to get around. If you've got her on your back defensively, you're trying to figure out, I'm facing my own goal, how do I turn this around? She puts you in a tough position. She is such a fast, physical, and aggressive player.
They battle for it at midfield. It rolls out of play. And it will belong to the Glens.
So far, Stockton has done a pretty good job of weathering the Glens' pressure, but it's clear the Glens just have a little bit more technical talent in their midfield. You see the midfield really being the key piece for me for this Glens team. Excellent passing and just technical skills.
They tried to spring
in that midfield
Brua.
triangle.
Absolutely.
And not just from the middle three, but I think specifically winning the middle of the pitch, controlling the pace of the game through your midfield is so critical, especially for a possession-oriented team.
Another offside call against the Glens. Into now the 26th minute. Well, Creative Ideas Catering offers global fusion with Colombian Mexican flavors and is owned by one of our Glens Academy players' families. They just opened their first cafe in San Francisco, only 6 minutes away from Crocker Soccer Field on 58 Leland. Kylan and I will be taste testing some food from them and our other partners at halftime during this doubleheader, so don't miss it. Let's see what Stockton can get going offensively. Trailing by a goal. Brua, she's certainly one who could do it.
Better possession here for Stockton, working the ball in the midfield, getting a little bit of connection going.
Well, I think if you're Stockton, down a goal, I mean, the longer you stay close, obviously that's going to be maybe uncharted territory for this Glens team, who's won every match so far by at least 3 goals this season. And as you've said, they've done a good job weathering the storm in this end of the field, as that one went across the line, and it'll be a goal kick.
Just unlucky. That got a little bit away from Gomes, just a little bit too far for her to run down, but it was the right idea. Looking to go end line, slot a ball back across the box to one of your teammates running on. The Glens had a couple of players there who were ready to get on the end of it. Just unfortunate it went over the end line. Glens, though, continuing to make the right runs, right ideas, just a matter of execution.
San Francisco, #1 in the national power rankings in the entire USL Women's League. 4-0. They've now scored 22 goals this year and allowed just 1. The goal today from Nadia Gomes, her 6th. And they lead it 1-0 here in the 28th minute. On the attack again. Ball right at the edge of the box. Gomes tried to dribble around. Now a shot from O'Donnell, but couldn't direct it where she wanted. It might have been deflected.
Some tough moments there with a bouncing ball. Stockton did well, though, to continue to pursue the second ball, the third ball, not let the Glens get anything easy. You saw Gomes try to cut that on her left foot and get that shot off again, which she loves to do. We've already seen her do it a couple times. They had bodies where they needed to be, and they continued to pursue that and not give the Glens an easy chance on some of those bouncing balls around the 18.
So another corner kick for the Glens. We've had a couple of dangerous looks. That one sent far side, chased down by Halliday. Kept in play.
Just a little bit too much on that corner, but ooh, that was pretty.
From Halliday. Top of the box, popped high in the air. That was Ellie Piper who had that nice touch to Halliday.
Yeah, nice combination work on that play.
They still battle. O'Donnell couldn't get through, and now it's finally cleared away by Stockton.
And you can see there Stockton is putting a lot of numbers in the box. They're tucking in and playing very compacted, literally just creating a wall that's going to be very difficult for the Glens to get through. That's where maybe you try to space them out a little bit, send the ball wide or reset if it's not there in the middle of the pitch, because Stockton is playing very compact because they know the talent on this Glen side.
And that one will roll through for Mia Collins. Making her 3rd start of the season in goal. As we said, she's split time with Madison Covey-Taylor, who has played the other 2 matches for Stockton. Cargo 2-2 on the season. They've scored 11 goals this year, now allowed 10 after the goal today.
Just now we had that punt that literally was almost a boomerang rolling back towards their own net after trying to punt that one out. This wind is relentless. I would almost look for chances to roll or throw it out when the time does come versus punt it, because that was almost a dangerous situation where O'Donnell was able to create a counterattack by dispossessing.
Shot from Peyton Marciz sails high.
Some nice movement over there from both Gomes, Marciz, really doing a good job of creating around the center, the right side of the pitch. Not bad looks on goal. Just need to try to keep it on frame, force the goalkeeper to make a save.
Well, if you're Stockton, again, playing against the wind this half, just trying to ideally stay within a goal. Give yourself a chance in the second half when you have the wind. Brua trying to help out defensively, and she does earn a foul.
Good anticipation there by Brua. Well done to read that pass, to step in and intercept it, and also to get back and really work to win the ball back for her team from up top. One thing I will say, though, One thing that stands out for the Glens is they have been winning a lot of the 50-50 balls in the middle of the pitch. They've been getting on the end of a lot of balls out of the air. That's an area that Stockton is going to have to step up if they want to try to keep up with the Glens. The Glens are elite with the ball at their feet. If you also let them win those 50-50 battles, it's going to be a very difficult uphill battle for Stockton.
Anaya Shelton stepping up for Stockton. Couldn't get through Mia Buddha. Stockton stepping up the pressure a little bit, making life more challenging for the Glens at midfield, and a good takeaway. A couple of players go to the ground. And now here come the Glens on the foot of O'Donnell. O'Donnell chips, shoots, and scores! Miri O'Donnell with her 4th of the year.
You were absolutely right in that Stockton was applying more pressure there. They were sitting in more of a middle block than a low block. However, that did open up some lanes in the middle of the pitch and also opened up an opportunity for the Glens to counterattack. It was a great ball played over the top to O'Donnell, and that's a cheeky finish. Watch how O'Donnell just hits it with the top of her laces. She gets spin on it. It's a little chopping movement. You don't swing through the ball when you're trying to chip it. She executed that chip really well. Just sent it over the head of the goalkeeper into the back of the net because of that really, really special technical finish with that chip. Great piece of skill from O'Donnell and just great recognition by the Glens to look to break lines and get the ball forward. That was the perfect opportunity to play direct. Glens aren't a team that plays direct very often. They don't play over the top very often. That's not what they are known for, and that's not the style of play they're trying to play. But you have to recognize in soccer when those moments are when teams are completely out of shape and there are holes to attack and transition, those are chances that you have to take advantage of. The Glens recognize that really well.
So a 2-goal lead for the San Francisco Glens. Miri O'Donnell, we talked about her talent, her confidence level, especially at just the age of 16. And you can see just from watching her how much fun she has out there, and for good reason. She scores her 4th.
And also great work rate by O'Donnell right there, just getting back behind the ball, really hustling and using an explosion of speed there momentarily to challenge on that 50-50 ball and to make life difficult for Alexis Bruja. It's also interesting when you look at the Glens scoring their 2nd goal in transition. That's one area that Coach Sharabi talked with us about as being a possibility for the Glens to improve on. It was funny talking to him when you have a team that's been outscoring people 21-1 in their first 4 games. You know, Coach, what are the areas of improvement? Are there any when your team has been so dominant? The one thing he identified was recognizing the appropriate decisions in moments of transition. When you lose the ball or you get dispossessed, making sure the Glens get back in their shape, get reorganized, and get structured very quickly. On the flip side, offensively, recognize those moments when they can play more direct and can look to get the ball forward quickly versus building, which they will do most of the game. But still recognizing the moments to transition quickly and get the ball up the field. They did exactly that. So there you go, Coach Sharabi. Apparently no room for improvement on this Glens team because they executed that really well on a counterattack.
Kylan, you're a former player. You know that a coach will always find room to improve, even if you think you've just played a perfect match.
Certainly. Coaches always just have that special ability to always find something. With this Glens team, though, extremely difficult when you're outscoring opponents now at this moment in time, 23-1 through USLW League play. Kudos to the Glens.
Showing why they're ranked #1 in the power rankings. Although, you know, from talking to Coach Sharabi, it does put a little bit of a target on your back. You can't really sneak up on anybody anymore, but I think they are up for that challenge. And so far in this first half, they've played very well.
The tough aspect of being that dominant team that now has several massive wins under their belts is that they do have a target on their backs. Now, whenever you play teams are going to get up to play the Glens. This is the team that they want to play their very best soccer against for most opponents.
How about that takeaway from Nadia Gomes? Creating an opportunity for the Glens. She's already got 1 goal today. Amy Sayer. Cross. Tried to get it back to Gomes. Cleared, but not all the way out. Buddha battling for it. And now Stockton has control.
It wasn't a bad layoff there by Gomes as she was streaking forward in a numbers up situation. Unfortunately, Amy Sayer just tried to hit it with the outside, it looked like maybe of her right foot, where she could have let it come across her body and tried to take that touch forward positively with her left.
Shelton nearly got a little bit of a ride there from Peyton Marciz. Called for the foul. "37th minute, 2 goals in this first half for San Francisco. Nadia Gomes in the 9th minute, Miri O'Donnell in the 33rd. Two of the best scorers in the entire USL Women's League so far this year. 6 goals for Gomes, 4 for O'Donnell.
Once again, some good ball movement by the Glens, and you see their wings playing super high and wide. O'Donnell way up here on the left side, looking to isolate, get into a 1v1 situation where she does have an advantage.
Marciz from outside the box, and a pretty good effort. Take another look here. Marciz just over the top. So the offense keeps coming for the Glens. Battle at midfield, won by the Glens. Nice touch. Sayer sends it far side. And the wind's going to take that one all the way across the end line.
Not a bad idea there. The right ball to play on that diagonal run being made on that outside right wing by Halliday. Just a little bit too much on it, a little bit too direct as well. You'd like to see that one go across a little bit more. And also, you got to keep in mind the wind. Huge factor out here, carrying balls over the end line.
There's a good low line drive into the wind, and it gets to midfield. Glens have been sturdy on the back line when they've needed to be in this first half, and now they're attacking again. Sayer for Gomes. Got a little turned around, still tracked it down. And a foul called against the Glens.
It's been a really strong half, a lot of what we expected from the Glens. However, I think the Stockton team is playing well, is holding them off fairly well. I think that there's just a couple of individual matchups and battles around the field where the Glens have the edge and just a little bit more talent. I don't think Stockton is playing poorly, though. You see them battling here in the midfield. They're starting to win some balls. They're playing hard, and they have been able to connect some passes. I just feel like there's a couple of 1v1 individual battles where the Glens just have some really special players.
Look at Miri O'Donnell all over the field. Knocks that one out. It'll be a throw-in for Michaela Ratucolo. And handled back by Leilani Cortez Ramirez. 41st minute now of this first half, 2-0. Glens looking for their 5th straight win to start the season. Their first in the USLW League. O'Donnell. Now Gomes turns and finds Penn. Good passing in tight. Left side for Sayer. Cross, and it's off the hands there of Collins. Was she able to keep it in play? No, it'll be a corner. Well, congratulations to the Olympic Club Foundation on over 30 years of serving the community and making sure everyone can play. And it looks like they need to bring the trainer out behind the play, a Stockton player. Can't quite make out who it is. Hunched over, still on her feet. Could be a nosebleed, perhaps, as they're handing a paper towel. So this will be added on in stoppage time as we're nearing the end of the first half. And the good news is, still can't tell who the Stockton player is, but she's walking off holding the gauze to her nose. I'm not sure if that was caused by anything or perhaps just a random nosebleed. That's Lizette Almanza. So it'll be a corner kick for the Glens. Still perhaps time to add a third goal in this first half. Sayer plays it short for O'Donnell. Nice move. Attacking with speed. Cross. Marcia's shot blocked. And the effort from Piper goes wide. Nice idea. It remains 2-0 with a couple minutes remaining in the first half. USLW League in its second season now. These are both first-year clubs, expansion clubs in the Glens and Stockton Cargo SC. Here comes San Francisco again. O'Donnell, who scored a goal earlier this half. A long shot, scooped up by Collins. Love the aggressive play from O'Donnell. Again, we talk about it, especially being just 16 years old. She's confident. And for good reason. A lot of skill in her game. Speaking of skill, Brua the other way for Stockton. Leading the team with 4 goals this year through their first 4 matches. And again, Glens defensively sturdy. Glens have not given up any real good looks against them in this first half, and now Gomes showing her speed. Her pass too far for Sayer.
Gomes certainly showing that elite quickness there. You see when she gets the ball at her feet and she has space in front of her, she is so fast. A player really tough to keep up with for any opposing defense. Unfortunately, though, just not quite the right execution on that pass.
We'll see how much stoppage time we have here as we have now played 45 minutes. 1 minute of stoppage time. Glens so aggressive in this end, it makes life difficult for opponents, but some pinpoint passing that time by Stockton to get it back to midfield for Seha. She drops off for Haley Bastard. Back for Seha. See if Stockton can get a late chance. They haven't had many clean looks offensively. And you see why there. The Glens take it away again. Can they get a late goal? O'Donnell ahead of the pack. Cuts it back to the middle. We're now over a minute. This could be the last chance. O'Donnell from the left side and puts it wide. And that's
tough
will
angle.
take us to halftime.
That was a tough angle to shoot from by O'Donnell. I just heard Coach Mike Sharabi yelling, cut it back, because that's a situation where the goalkeeper is going to be covering that near post, and it's very difficult to hit a far post from outside the near post, meaning it's a better decision oftentimes to cut it back and to play it on the ground or to play across into a teammate. That's what I think Coach was trying to address to O'Donnell, but she has certainly looked good here in this first half of play. A player who is very dangerous. You can see she also has some speed, some crafty moves, great with the ball at her feet. I mean, this Glens team is just loaded with talent.
No question about it. 2 goals in the first half, one from Nadia Gomes, one from Miri O'Donnell, and it is 2-0. Don't go anywhere. We've got a lot coming up on our halftime show presented by Thomas Quinn Law, including our taste test.
Yes.
Right around the corner.
That's what we're really here for.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Chron On.
That's quick. You got a strawberry back there? That's chocolate.
That's right.
That's
yeah.
vanilla. Quit playing. Now we're
Then
talking.
a break. And
Bunny's
then
up,
the taste
buddy.
test.
Here's to that classic, delicious taste. Bunny's up, buddy.
Should I bring one too, or we just that one?
Check it out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay. Yep, sounds good. Yep. Creative Ideas Cafe.
I am a Coast Guardsman.
I serve the people of the United States.
I will protect them.
I will save them.
I am their shield.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are missing pauses.
You mean passes?
No, pauses. The secret to winning is to pause.
I'm taking a step back. Sometimes you gotta stop to be, an actual human.
Take a minute to celebrate, right?
Or 20.
Pause is power.
That's quick. You got a strawberry back there? That's chocolate. That's vanilla. Quit playing. Now we're talking. Bunny's up, buddy.
Here's to that classic, delicious taste. Bunny's up, buddy.
2-0 at halftime. The San Francisco Glens looking for their 5th straight win to start the year, and they have the lead on Stockton Cargo SC. Boy, an elite finish there from Nadia Gomes. As you take a look at some of these first half highlights, Gomes and Miri O'Donnell, the goal scorers, and nearly another one. They really controlled play in that first half, Kylan.
Nice little chip there by O'Donnell on the second goal. It was great recognition by the Glens to take advantage of a counterattack, a good ball sent forward to O'Donnell for her to run on, and then she placed that so well, timed the shot beautifully too, because you take an extra touch, you wait too long, the goalkeeper may come off their line and have the opportunity to smother you, or you take it from too far out and you put yourself in a difficult position. She timed that shot really well, executed the chip really well, just to send a little blooper out of the keeper's reach and into the back of the net. Beautifully done piece of skill. And then Gomes, we talked about her all match. I mean, what is there to say? What is there more to say? Because she's got the speed, she's got the skill. Great left foot as we've seen on display here today. Just a strong showing from the Glens in the first half, but I think they're going to come out and be hungry for more, because there were a couple of chances that they maybe could have finished or capitalized on better.
Well, speaking of hungry, we got our taste test right around the corner here on the halftime show presented by Thomas Quinn Law. Not sure if we have our first half stats, but would guess that was mostly controlled by the Glens. Here we go. 10 shots, none allowed. 5 on goal for the Glens. You see all 5 corner kicks also belonging to San Francisco. And they have the 2-0 lead heading into the second half. All right, we're going to take one more break, then come back for our taste test with Creative Ideas Cafe. You're watching the San Francisco Glens on Cron On.
Coming in, flex. I just wanna win, LABB, who we running with, 2, 2, 3, 3, I'm on 10 again, state your name, big dope on flame, I just switched the lanes, damn he did it again, I just flipped the pain, stripping and dipping in bass, slab on everything, swimming you sinking away, cause I got big racks coming, I put my low racks on it, I ain't skip past losses, I had to get back off it, see the fit lab on it until they whip my coffin, money clip I tossed it, I heard it's big bags on big bags on big bags coming, coming in, flex, I just wanna win, LABB, who we running with.
All right, lads, ready for the game?
What about that? Don't tell me more! Contact by Herpia.
Whenever he came near, and behind the magic boots, never missed the chance when he
Robbie Fowler! What a priceless goal!
the fearless defender. The light of the night.
Oh, what a hit! What an absolutely blinding finish from Luis Garcia!
And we'll walk these roads for 30 years and some and we'll never stop for the years to come, and you know it. Hey!
All right, hello and welcome back here to the Glens broadcast on Cron On. We are so excited to be joined by Creative Ideas Cafe, our own Lena here, to tell us a little bit more about what we're going to be taste testing from Creative Ideas Cafe. So why don't you walk us through each dish and then we'll try it out.
Here we have the arepa rellena with beef, and the empanadas with chicken, and our tamales. This one is pork and salsa roja, and then we also have our signature item, which is a dulce de leche brownie, and these are #1 sellers at the cafe right now. Well, we just opened. We're gonna be 1 year old in June, so I hope you guys really enjoy it.
Okay, and can you tell, why don't you open this, Ben, and can you tell people at home where you guys are located and a little bit more about where they can find this food?
Yes, so this is, we're located at 58 Leland in San Francisco, and it's part of visitation. Yes, please. So that's the arepa, and those are the favorite sauces from everybody is that green sauce. Yeah, so.
All right, the moment of truth. It's quite windy out here, so a little bit difficult to keep the tops on. I'll let Ben chew while he decides what he thinks about that. Looks so good. All right, no pressure. Thumbs up. We're getting a thumbs up from the camera. Now, once again, what are in these empanadas here?
Colombian empanadas, and these are chicken, and it comes with the sauce is ají.
This one's easy to try. Ben, you get to grab one too. He's trying to digest here. Awesome.
Really good.
Crunchy, right?
So good.
Very important.
Empanadas are delicious.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned these being Colombian empanadas. What's the difference, or how do you differentiate?
So, my husband is from Mexico. I'm from Colombia. So the cafe is half Mexican, half Colombian, and so we mix and we brought the best, the best of both worlds basically, and our kids love it. They don't. Right. Okay, so this is our pork tamal with salsa roja.
Sure.
Yeah, and then you can just...
moment of truth.
Boy, I'm not going to lie, it's a little chilly, a little cold out, a little windy, but the food is warm and delicious.
Good.
I know Kylan's been looking forward to this. Kylan didn't get a chance to eat lunch, so
I
this
was
is
going
it.
to say, I haven't eaten all day for this. Yep. So good. I think this might be my favorite.
Okay.
I think the tamale might be my favorite.
Great.
Love it.
Yeah, and today we're offering chicken mole, we have rice with cheese, and the pork. So yeah, but the pork is the top seller. That's why I brought it. Yeah, and then of course dessert.
Now, what exactly is in the brownie? You mentioned leche.
So it's dulce de leche. It's like a caramel, and it's all made at our kitchen.
I love it. Now, what was the inspiration for you and your husband in opening this restaurant? Tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Okay, so in 2003 we opened Creative Ideas Catering, and because of the pandemic, we had to pivot, and we resorted to our traditional food, like arepas, empanadas, tamales, and giving people what they then. So when the cafe opened, it was so natural for us to bring this kind of food in anything, Italian or American. So with the cafe, we're trying to stay within our boundaries right there, and just bringing traditions, closer to home. So. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, the food is delicious. Thank you so much, Lina.
Thank you so much.
Once again, Creative Ideas Cafe, absolutely fantastic. Can you tell us again, where are you guys located? Where can people order catering? Do you have a website? Anything like that? How can people get in touch?
Okay, so we are located at 58 Leland in San Francisco. Our social media is at Creative Ideas Catering or Creative Ideas Cafe. And our website is creativeideascateringcafe.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lena. I'm going to be taking this back with me to the booth. So when I can't talk to start the half, it's because my mouth is going to be eating this tamale. Yes.
We're going to take turns announcing the second half.
1,000%. All right, we'll take a quick break here on our Chronon broadcast. More SF Glens soccer is going to be coming up in just a little bit.
Forward Nadia Gomes is one of the many superstar talents on the Glens USL W League team. However, her story is a little different.
I was born in Portugal, and I lived there till I was 11. I used to just play on the streets with my neighborhood. We used to always play home with my mom and my sister, my older sister. We used to break lamps, everything. So I've always loved soccer.
Nadia's love for soccer continued to push and inspire her. She went on to play for Brigham Young University from 2014 to 2017. It wasn't until 2018 when she was drafted into the National Women's Soccer League to play for the Orlando Pride.
When I went to the NWSL, it was really good to see the older players kind of welcome me. It was a really good experience for me. I feel like once I left, I kind of grew more.
On the field, her teammates and coaches admire her mentorship, speed, and hard work.
Nadia brings experience. She is an older player. Bringing that experience to a younger group is really awesome. And she also, on the field, she brings pace, blistering pace. She runs past defenders with ease, and we're very fortunate to have someone, because it's a big weapon. She's a big weapon on the field.
Nadia, from the very first day, I knew she was something special. I had no idea who she was. I kind of came in on my first game, and then I was playing the 9 initially, and she was my left winger. And I feel like our chemistry was incredible from the beginning. I was playing her through ball. She was exactly where I needed her to be. I think she's really quiet, but she works so hard, and she's a leader on this team and definitely one of the best players.
Off the field, she's a caring and resilient mom for her son.
I have a 3-year-old. At the beginning, mentally brought me down. I just told myself, I said, I'm not going to let having a kid just stop me from chasing my dreams. Since I was little, I've always wanted to play for the national team for Portugal and pro, which I did get the experience, but it wasn't, I guess, the full experience because I only played a little bit with them. So I told myself I was going to work harder than I ever had, just to get back into things.
Nadia's determination and dedication has thus far paid off during the USL W League season. She's had 4 goals and 3 assists and continues to be a leader and inspiration for her team.
I started playing when I was about 5 because my older brother played, and I tell this to everyone, but I was a super competitive child. I wanted to do everything that he did, but better. So I started my very first day when I was 5 at my local community team, and yeah, I loved it ever since. I fell in love with it. I heard that Bay Area was starting to push for a better league in the USLW, and I love the girls, love the team, and then I'm here at the Glens, loving it, amazing. I think it's fantastic, and it's a really great place to be as I try and stay at the top of my game and at the highest level possible as I prepare for my seasons and hopefully try to make a World Cup squad.
Amy is a very physical player, but she also has an excellent touch. She can break teams down. She's comfortable on the ball. She is an outlet for our team when we look to get out from the back and play out from the back. And she can score goals. She can set up goals. She is a complete player.
I think that overall I'm trying to be a mainstay on my national team. I'm still on the edge of it and trying to just work my way back in, trying to establish myself amongst the team, which are pretty well established. And then eventually I want to go pro, go overseas as soon as I graduate and keep playing at the highest level possible, and then just go as far as I can.
Coming in, yeah, flex, I just wanna win, yeah, LABB who we running with, yeah, 2, 2, 3, 3, I'm on 10 again, yeah, state your name, big dope on flame, I just switched the lanes, damn he did it again, I just flipped the pain, stripping and dipping in bass, slab on everything, swimming you sinking away, cause I got big racks coming, I put my low racks on it, I ain't skip past losses, I had to get back off it, see the fit lab on it until they whip my coffin, money clip I tossed it, I heard it's big bags on big bags on big bags coming, coming in, yeah, flex, I just wanna win, yeah, LABB who we running with.
We're about ready for the second half here at Skyline College. Ben Ross and Kylan Mills with you on Cron On. The San Francisco Glens leading Stockton Cargo SC 2-0. Goals from Nadia Gomes and Miri O'Donnell in that first half. As the Glens trying to improve to 5-0. They've had a dominant start here in the USL W League. 23 goals scored for the season, just 1 allowed. And now the team switched sides, so the Glens will be going against the wind. Stockton trying to come back. They'll have the wind at their backs. And we're underway.
One thing to keep in mind is that conditions have deteriorated considerably since the start of this match. There was some sun peeking through, now totally cloudy, but also the wind has really picked up and it's gotten a lot colder. Tough conditions mean the Glens have to be super sharp defensively. When the weather gets worse, a lot of times that can potentially neutralize technical skill and individual abilities. All it can take is one unlucky bounce, one unfortunate circumstance for a goal to go in and for this to suddenly be a close game. So that means just defensively, you have to be super, super sharp and super clean. Cold, windy conditions, not easy to play in. A ball blows away you didn't expect it to, and that can totally change the game. So being super sharp defensively is going to be important for the Glens. For the Stockton Cargo, on the flip side, continue to press. Look for moments to counterattack and look to try to put a lot of pressure on this Glens back line.
Those are all great points. And I think sometimes something that can be overlooked, how much of an impact the elements can play, not just within the match, but as you said, it can take a toll on individual skill and even the playing field. As the Glens threatening here, a shot didn't get through.
But yeah, absolutely. You see it across sports. I mean, rainy or snowy conditions maybe could have a little bit more of an impact because then you see slick conditions on the field. The ball is wet or slick. But still, cold and wind are a major factor. It also makes it more difficult to breathe, impacts the way that athletes are able to move their muscles and the muscles stay warm, potentially being a factor.
Well, the Glens have come out well here in this second half. A couple of good looks at the net, handled by Mia Collins.
Collins has done well, and I think done as much as she can to try to keep the ball out of the back of the net. Made a couple of nice saves. Continues to generally make good decisions. Glens just had some nice finishes on those two goals.
Maya Beltran into the match for the Glens, replacing Jessie Halliday. Beltran had a goal last match for San Francisco. The Columbia commit from Oakland. Number 4 in the green.
Beltran, a player who was designated a 3-star recruit. Still in high school, attends college prep high school specifically. She was born in Oakland. Now, Beltran's one of several players who has competed for FC Bay Area Surf. When you talk about trying to find that chemistry with these USLW League teams, USL2 teams, where you've got different players in the mix from different colleges, some from high school, it's so critical for the Glens that they do have a big component of their team that all have played for FC Bay Area Surf, have a familiarity with one another, and several of these teams specifically come from a group that won 2 national championships in 2019 and 2021. That's a major advantage for the Glens. When you have players who competed at the club level together and competed very well, winning national championships together, it totally impacts the chemistry and communication.
Yeah, we talked about that in the first match today, and in the USL, both League 2 and the W League, and just the different lineups you're going to see each match, it makes a big difference. And I mean, Kylan, you can probably speak to this better than me, but I can't think of a sport where chemistry, teamwork, all of it is more important than in soccer, when you need to have all 11 working as one. It can be tough when you're not familiar, as here comes Stockton with a chance. Brua has it sent back out.
Chemistry and communication are everything in soccer. One reason is that timing is so important. When you're making runs and looking to play off of your teammates, you have to have that connection. You have to know when and where your teammate's going to play the ball. And a lot of that comes from being comfortable around each other, learning how your teammate plays. Where do they like the ball? Do they like it at their feet? Do they want to run on and get the ball out in space? Those are all nuances of the game that differ from player to player. When you've competed with someone, you have that comfortability. You can talk about different situations that arise in the game. It absolutely makes a huge, huge difference and is a major advantage in chemistry and tactics.
Into the 51st minute at Skyline College, a 2-goal lead on the San Francisco Glens.
It is something, too, that Coach Sharabi talked with us about when Ben and I were asking him, what is it that has allowed this group to be so successful and so hot so quickly in the USLW League season, when typically it takes some time for teams to work things out with different players coming into the mix. joining early on in the season at different times, depending on when they get out of school in May. And he identified that as being a key piece. Several of these players coming from the South Bay area, several players having competed with the FC Bay Area Surf. He said a number of these players are super familiar with each other, and that has made a world of difference in this just being a natural fit.
Here's Gomes looking for her second goal of the match. Cuts it back. Left-footed shot is blocked, and that doesn't quite get out of play. Now a right-footed boot, punched out by Collins. And that'll be a corner. Well, with offices in California, Texas, and Illinois, Thomas Quinn is able to provide quality.
That was a great look there by Amy Sayer. She is a player with so much experience at Stanford, a Pac-12 champion. Great strike, toe down, good position, forced the keeper to make a tough save. Now the Glens have a corner kick chance to possibly get on the end of one. Amy Sayer did a great job of just picking her head up and looking to take a chance herself. Really, really well-struck ball as well.
It'll be Peyton Marciz to take the corner when she's standing there with Ellie Piper.
14 has to come off because she's not on the official roster.
That could be a penalty. Amy Sayer taken down in the area. Let's take another look.
Watch here, there is contact on the leg. Sayer goes down when she clearly was in possession of the ball. Watch Green take that cut left, and then it's the shot with the outside of that right ankle or right knee that makes contact with Sayer, and she goes down in the box. That contact is what's going to draw the penalty call.
So a chance for the Glens to make it 3-0. Sayer shoots and scores. Amy Sayer with her second goal of the season. And it's 3-0.
That was great creation by Amy Sayer. She did a good job first earning the penalty by being aggressive and attacking the goal, making that cut around a defender and being direct in her attack onto and into the box. She drew the foul, executed the penalty kick really well, low and away into that left corner. It's a well-struck ball. Didn't put a ton of pace on it, but put it exactly in the right spot in that left corner. The placement on that penalty kick is the key. Sayer, a player who brings in, I was just mentioning, ton of experience, has competed with the Australian national team, competed with Stanford, as they have consistently been one of the top 10 teams in the country the last couple seasons. No question Amy Sayer was going to finish that PK for me.
Well, with offices in California, Texas, and Illinois, Thomas Quinn is able to provide quality national and international representation for maritime law, emphasizing personal touch, experienced, client-focused, effective. Thomas Quinn Law.
That was a close call there for Banuelos. This is where the Glens have to be really careful. Stockton has the wind at their back. That ball just bounced. It almost went over the head of Banuelos and into the goal. As a keeper, you're going to have to be really careful that balls that don't look like maybe they're going to be a threat could carry a little bit farther than you think, could bounce and carry farther than you think. You're just going to have to be really cautious with any balls out of the air while Stockton has the wind at their back.
San Francisco has scored 24 goals now for the season and allowed just one. And they're still attacking. Here comes Gomes. Battling.
Well won there by Stockton. Really nice piece of defensive work.
Yeah,
keeping Gomes off the ball, not easy.
Did a good job. Piper. And a whistle.
brief stoppage, it looks like there's going to be a discussion about something going on with the rosters. We mentioned USLW League and both USL2 League are a little bit unique in the fact that you've got players, different players moving in and out of the lineups every single week. You've got players returning from college, players who are unavailable on a week-to-week basis because these are a lot of college players who are on summer break, in addition to throwing some young high schoolers in the mix where they're just not going to be available week in and week out. The issue there is that they're rotating rosters, different players available every single week. Each week, coaches and staffs of the organizations are supposed to identify and put on paper going into the match the 18 that are going to be suiting up and available. It appears there has been some confusion. Maybe someone got missed on the 18 who's on the regular roster but wasn't identified for this game. So it does create a little bit of a tough situation as you have different players coming in and out, and you've got to try to keep track of exactly who's there each week, making sure you're really, really tight about matching up the roster to who's going to be available for that specific game. It's not an easy task.
No question. It's a little challenging for everybody involved. But I think they have it squared away now.
So it sounded like that was some of the discussions that were happening, that maybe there was a player on the field who has played in past games or is registered but maybe wasn't identified for this 18. So again, it's just kind of a tough situation when you've got players rotating in and out to make sure that you're following through with all the paperwork and getting the right 18 registered or on that game card for that specific week.
Back underway in the 58th minute. 3 goals for the Glens, 2 in the first half, 1 here in the second half. Goals from Nadia Gomes, Miria O'Donnell, and Amy Sayer on the penalty kick.
One thing I will say, while we're on the topic of the USL, is just it's really cool to see these players getting that opportunity to try to prepare or make it to the next level of being professional. So many of these talented players do want to go on and play in the NWSL or soon to be the USL Super League, which is launching next year and is going to be another great opportunity for players to go on to that next level to compete at the professional level. It was really great. If you missed going into this matchup, I had an awesome conversation with Amanda Vandervoort, who is the president of USL Super League and USLW League. She is super excited about what's to come and the opportunity this is going to create for female players all around the country. Currently, the NWSL is the only professional women's soccer league in the U.S., but there is so much talent here in the U.S. One of the reasons why you see the U.S. women's national team getting ready to go compete at the World Cup be so dominant year in and year out is this country in general is loaded with talent, and it's going to be really cool to see the USL offer another chance for players to play at the professional level, and they're already doing such a cool thing in creating that pathway to pro with this W League.
And I think the market is there, too. There's so many fans. There's a long shot from outside the box, sails high and wide. But there's so many fans in this country of soccer, of women's soccer in particular. You've talked about the excitement from, the results we've seen from the U.S. in World Cup play and in the Olympics. So much talent. That is going to be fun to watch beginning next year.
The U.S. women's national team has been dominant since the 90s because of the level of talent here in the U.S.
A chance now for Stockton, and a big-time save made by Banuelos. Another chance, and it's in! And Stockton on the board, just the second goal allowed all season for the Glens. It's 3-1. That happened quickly.
For the Stockton Cargo, they need to continue to look to press and take advantage of those transition opportunities. It's something I identified with the Glens. The Glens are a team that possesses a lot. That means they can get out of shape and be vulnerable in counterattack situations. Stockton did an excellent job of recognizing that, getting the numbers up situation, and being really direct in attacking the goal. Also, kudos to Stockton for sticking with that play. Alexis Bruja continuing to make that run through the ball after Banuelos made the initial save. Stockton didn't give up on it. They stayed true, and they were able to knock that one in, Bruja making the run on goal.
And Cassandra Seha picks up the goal in the 60th minute to make this a 2-goal game.
Seya did an excellent job of continuing to follow after that shot was saved. Seya was the player who, after Banuelos made the initial save, continue to stick with it, run it down, continue to press on those second and third balls. Again, Brua was there ready to capitalize as well at the top of the box, but all in all, it was a good offensive effort and good pressure from the Stockton Cargo. Can they repeat that and take advantage of another transition opportunity? This could be a totally different game.
Yeah, it's still plenty of time. We're in the
Lots of time.
61st minute. As we've talked about, the conditions could play a factor. It has gotten very cold, not the most pleasant, and that can always be the big equalizer. And again, the wind at the backs of Stockton in this half.
Absolutely. You don't have to expend as much energy with him, but these players are going 110%. Stockton not giving up by any means, despite being down 3-0. A great effort, but now we hope everyone's okay.
I can't quite make out a number yet on who's down. Anaya Shelton.
Hopefully Shelton's okay. It looks like they might be stretching her.
Yeah, it looks like
so
they are right now.
Maybe where it's a muscular issue, that's what you hope, unless they're checking out her ankle there. Good news is she is being helped up, so that's what you want to see.
Yep, back on her feet, and hopefully no worse for the wear.
It's interesting, though, when you talk about teams that dominate possession, it's not unusual to see something like what the Glens have just fell victim to in terms of being vulnerable in transition and in the counterattack. The Glens dominate possession so much, you get so many numbers up the field, you get comfortable, you're spreading the field wide, then suddenly you get dispossessed and you're in a difficult position to get back in shape and to get numbers behind the ball defensively. You look at the LA Galaxy this season in MLS, they've been a similar story. They're top 3 in the league in possession, meaning they control the ball more than almost every opponent they've played against. However, they're one of the bottom teams in the league in terms of their actual record. They've only won 2 games, and a big reason why is they've been giving up goals in transition. It's a really delicate balance to be able to possess a lot, look to use that possession to create goal-scoring opportunities, but also then to have the defensive piece of being able to get back into shape so quickly when you do have numbers up the field and in really wide areas of the pitch.
Substitution for Stockton. Kinley Miller into the match for Michaela Ratucolo. Here in the 65th minute, Stockton looking for some fresh legs. They've gotten 1 goal back. If they could get another, it gets real interesting here.
Absolutely, and you can see here, Stockton is holding their line quite a bit higher than they were previously in the game. In the first half, some in the low block, a lot on the middle block, but typically they were letting the Glens really work the ball in their defensive third. You're not seeing that here, as they now have got numbers forward trying to press and prevent the Glens from advancing the ball from their defensive third to the middle of the pitch, making it much more difficult for them to move the ball the way they want. As you see, Bruja here is
aggressive,
an absolute threat when she is aggressive like that and chasing the ball down.
And look at
and
that.
It results in a turnover just like that.
So Stockton a little momentum here after their goal. Each team has scored in the second half. It was 2-0 at halftime, now 3-1.
That's one area that's interesting for Stockton as well in terms of how high up the field you want to play, because the issue is the Glens have so much talent and they also can create. As we saw, the goal scored by O'Donnell was an opportunity in transition where you yourself get high up the field. That also can open up gaps to where if the Glens do break that line, they're going to have some wide open spaces and they're going to be areas where they can get in behind. That's why you saw Stockton playing a little bit more in a middle and a lower block in the first half, because you've got a team that is so talented offensively. You do want to stay pretty compact and you don't want to take too many chances to allow them to get in behind. Now, though, Stockton has some momentum. It's interesting to see the tactics change a little bit. They're now applying a lot more pressure and making it difficult for these Glens defenders, and it's working.
Rebecca Sherry into the match for Leilana Cortez Ramirez. Stockton threatening again. It rolls through the area. And cleared away. But a lot more of the action in this half. And that'll be a foul called against Stockton.
Another factor in some change tactics for Stockton is the fact that you can take more risks when you're down 3 goals, even 2 goals now. Early on in the game, you're down a goal. You don't necessarily want to be vulnerable to give up a second. Now you're in a situation where you're down, you need to score. You can take more chances, put more numbers forward, and try to press more. Because at the end of the day, losing 4-1 is the same thing as losing 3-1 if you can't score.
Bruja nearly forcing another turnover, and it will be a corner.
The high press is working really well for Stockton right now. They're doing a good job of putting these Glens defenders under pressure and not allowing them to work the ball out of the back like they were previously in the game. The Glens back line has to stay composed and really make sure they're making smart decisions on the ball. Yes, you want to hold it and try to connect a pass, but also don't hold it too long to where you're risking being dispossessed in your defensive third without a lot of numbers behind the ball. There may be situations you just got to send it upfield.
Anna Rosenblatt to take this corner kick. 68th minute, 3-1 Glens. Good opportunity in front. Ball ricochets all over. Rosenblatt from a bad angle and puts it wide.
I like that corner kick from Stockton. Good placement on the corner, sending it low and just into the mix in the middle of the 6. Pretty good decision. We saw it created a little bit of chaos, a little bit of confusion, a scramble, and those situations are always advantageous to the offense because all it takes is one errant bounce. It happens to land at someone's feet. You're so close to the goal, you just got to poke it through.
See if the Glens can regain a little bit of the momentum. This pressure has definitely affected them in the second half. Now they get it into the attacking half. There should be some opportunities, Kylan, for the transition attack if you're the Glens. You talk about Stockton being more aggressive because they're still down 2 goals. We'll see. Maybe the Glens will find an opportunity to counterattack.
Absolutely, Ben. If the Glens can break through that initial pressure that Stockton is applying up top, there's going to be openings in areas of the field where they can get forward very, very quickly and can look to attack the goal with the numbers up situation. The issue is, so far, they haven't been able to break that line of pressure.
Here comes Stockton again. Can they keep it in play? They do momentarily and earn another corner.
The Glens have to be quicker in getting behind the ball. That was a 4v3 situation for Stockton. It wasn't any kind of major total field transition chance, so that's where the Glens just have to be sharper. There had to be more numbers behind the ball there. 4v3. The Glens didn't just have possession. They've been in this half the whole time. There's really no reason why they wouldn't have been able to try to get into their shape a little bit more quickly.
71st minute. Corner kick coming for Stockton Cargo. Down 3-1. Lofted high into the box. Header is stopped. And that could be a card against the keeper. Isa Banuelos goes down after taking one, and a yellow card comes out. So a big save by Banuelos, and hopefully she's all right.
A yellow card, the right call there. Banuelos had the ball in her hands. First, though, Glens on this corner kick, you've got to get ahead on that. You've got to win that out of the air. Great save by Banuelos. However, then she takes that contact just to her stomach area. It looked like maybe a knee. And that's tough. That's going to result in a yellow when the goalkeeper already has the ball in her hands. She was running through it with possession. You cannot just make contact on a keeper there. Ref's always going to pull out the yellow. You've got to be super, super careful about injuring a keeper. But in general, on that corner kick and on a couple of these corners, the Glens have got to do a better job of winning it out of the air and clearing it away on the first-time ball. You cannot let these balls bounce in the box. That's where you're going to put yourself in a tough situation. I mentioned chaos in the box. One errant bounce lands at someone's feet. You're already so close to goal as an offensive player. You just got to poke it through. The Glens have to just win those one-time balls.
Yeah, the opportunity belonging to Kaylee Miller that time. And the yellow card to Lauren Sopapmisai.
And you saw on that corner kick, the ball went way up in the air. Two things that I'm thinking. Ball went way up in the air, so that means defenders should have more time to get underneath it to be able to clear it away. However, with this wind, it could also take a little bit of a turn where it was harder to read. Still, the Glens have just got to be careful about trying to get someone on it, throwing any body part to get that away from net.
Throw in coming for Stockton.
It's a nice throw.
And last touched by Stockton. They thought they might have a corner there. I'll tell you, it's been an impressive second half, though. Stockton didn't have any shots in the first half. It was 10-0 as far as the shots in favor of San Francisco.
Yeah,
and obviously, being behind, they've had to be more aggressive, but controlled a lot of the play here in the second half.
Yeah, total shift in momentum here in the second half with Stockton. Now feeling like they're in control despite being down 2 goals. They're certainly having the better run of play.
Good ball down the right side, chased by Beltran. She sends it toward Gomes, but it rolls through to Collins.
That was a nice idea. I like that. With Nadia Gomes' speed, you've got her running in a one-on-one situation with one defender running at goal. That's a situation where I don't mind taking a chance with that direct ball. Gomes is so fast, so quick. She's been able to outrun so many defenders in this league. You put her in a 1v1 situation trying to run down a ball, you're thinking it's a breakaway and a shot on goal for Gomes.
Beltran drops it off for Piper. Oh, what a move.
Beautiful.
Piper still in possession. Tries to cross. Still in play. Now does cross. A chance. A shot wide. How about the skill from Ellie Piper?
Ellie Piper, a player with so much talent. I mentioned she's not just an outside back who defends. Piper is an outside back who's going to get into the attack and be very dangerous. You saw the composure there on the ball. She's able to take players one-on-one, a really pretty little nifty cut, and then she takes it all the way end line, keeps it in play, and delivers a really nice cross. Impressive movement up the field from an outside back. Piper has the skill to do so.
Glens will play it back to their keeper, Banuelos. Made a nice save a couple minutes ago to keep this a 2-goal lead.
Banuelos has had a couple of really nice saves throughout this match. You also notice she just had the ball at her feet there a moment ago and delivered a pretty nice ball out to the left wing that was well placed. That's something that Coach Sharabi talked with us about. With a team that likes to possess and build out the back, you have to have a goalkeeper who's strong with the ball at her feet. Banuelos is certainly that. She's done really well in distributing and staying composed when she's under pressure.
Miri O'Donnell, a burst of speed. Cuts it back. She's got a goal today. Cross, Sayer, Marciz. Back to O'Donnell, creates space and just puts it high.
O'Donnell with that elite change of pace with the ball at her feet there just moments ago. She is a player who you can see the skill, you can see the touch. She's super comfortable on the ball. It's the burst of speed, though, that's really special. Great cut. She's able to totally shake the defender, has a clean look on goal. She just has to execute a little bit better on that actual finish. You got to stay over the ball, get that toe down, and really lock in to keep that on frame.
We're in the 76th minute, 3-1. San Francisco Glens leading Stockton Cargo SC.
Good defense down in that far corner by the Glens. They've got to just continue to stay super disciplined in their 1v1 defending, stay super disciplined in keeping your shape, and then also just making really smart decisions with the ball. I know they want to work out the back, but don't do it at the risk of giving up a goal or giving up possession in a dangerous area of the field. You've got the lead, you just want to hold on to it. Obviously, they do want to try to create more offensively, but since they've been under so much pressure, just don't do something that's going to lead to a goal in an effort to build out the back.
A few more substitutions for these final 13.5 minutes plus whatever stoppage time we'll have. Stockton trying to claw back and still not out of it, just down by 2 goals. They're 2-2 on the year. We've talked about the Glens being 4-0 and ranked number 1 in the national power rankings. Going against the wind here in the second half. They try and build out from the back, which they like to do anyway. O'Donnell comes through to help, and we've got a wrestling match going on.
Yeah, the initial tackle where Stockton Cargo went down was clean, but then there was a little bit of over contact there by the Glens. Fair to blow the whistle in that situation.
So a free kick for Stockton.
Set piece is going to be super important for both teams. If Stockton wants to get back in this game, getting on the end of a set piece would be absolutely crucial. For the Glens, you've got to be really, really tight in your marking, communicating, and you've got to clear these out one time.
Yellow Sesums will take this free kick. And that's too far for everybody.
Just an unfortunate free kick there for the Stockton Cargo. Totally overhit. Not quite towards the end line where the wind is coming at it, but still, just in general, since they're going this direction, you've got to be really, really careful not to put too much on that ball because it will fly out of bounds. That's a ball that I would have liked to see just drive low and into the mix in front, maybe right around the penalty spot of where your players are. Just try to force the Glens to make a tough play on a ball bouncing. The Glens have been a little bit shaky in trying to win those balls that are bouncing around the box, the second and third balls after maybe a deflection. So why not just force them to make a tough play versus sending that one so long and high?
Mia Watanabe and T. Tran enter for the Glens, replacing Miri O'Donnell and Peyton Marciz.
This is the time in the game where you're approaching 79th, 80th minute where substitutions are being made. That depth is going to be super, super critical. The team that is the deepest performs best down the stretch. You want subs to come in who are going to bring energy, who are going to raise the level because they do have fresh legs. Certainly should help the Glens since they are under pressure to have that extra burst of speed from some of these subs.
And here's Tran trying to get to the loose ball. It's cleared out. Piper.
Ooh, take it, Piper. You could see the goalkeeper, way off her line. Piper was a little bit far out to try to take that shot, but those are situations you love to see as a player. An empty net, just try to put one down. But going into the wind, that would have been a really, really hard ask since she was still so far out.
Glenn's happy to maintain possession of the ball and use some clock. A 2-goal lead in the 80th minute. Now a chance in front. And Gomes. Let's see, is the offside flag up? It is not. It's a goal. Was it Tran? T. Tran just coming in, and she makes it 4-1.
Great buildup by the Glens. It's a beautiful ball played forward by Amy Sayer. Perfectly timed run, and then 2 Glens are in the exact right spot at the right time, both running onto that ball right around the penalty spot. Didn't matter who kicked it in, didn't matter who executed that final touch. Great buildup by the Glens. Great cross on the ground to allow both teammates to be able to run onto it, take a touch, tee that up beautifully.
So that might just about do it for the Glens. We'll see. They lead by 3 now. 4-1, 81st minute. And exactly what you were talking about, Kylan, with a substitution coming in, fresh legs, and puts it in the back of the net.
Assist Watanabe.
And Mia Watanabe, another substitution with the assist.
Talking about how important it is that subs bring in that energy and that fresh legs, and right on cue, moments after coming into the game, Watanabe delivers a beautiful cross, leads to that goal. Really well done and well-timed run by Watanabe as well. She deserves a lot of credit for making that diagonal run across the left side. Beautifully timed to receive that ball, and then she played a really pretty cross. And then Tran just finishing it off. Well done by the substitutions.
So goals today from Nadia Gomes, Miri O'Donnell, Amy Sayer, and T. Tran. Glens continuing to be productive offensively. Now 25 goals in their 5 games this year. And they've allowed just their second goal of the season today.
Key for the Glens now, first, weather the storm that is the high pressure that Stockton has been applying. If you can get the ball in possession, you're going into the wind, keep the ball on the ground as much as you can because it is going to be more predictable. It's not going to die in the wind. And then try to maintain possession, and if you can, get it down, hold it down the field, corner flag if you can as we approach especially these last 7 minutes. Try to kill off some time, and then make sure you don't give them the ball.
And we have a yellow card come out. That goes against Anaya Shelton.
So you see here the Glens opted on that free kick rather to boot it up into the mix to just keep possession. If you don't let the Stockton Cargo get the ball here down the stretch, they can't score a goal. Try to possess, keep the ball up the field, and you're attacking third. And then if you can, kill off some time, get it down to a corner flag, and just try to close this one out in the last minutes.
Even up 3 goals, it's a good opportunity to work on those types of habits as if you're protecting a 1-goal lead. We're going to see situations later in the season, most likely, where there will be tight 1-goal games where every second is going to be crucial.
It's always good to be in the habit of proper game management, whether it's a 3-goal lead, a 1-goal lead. You don't want to be giving up late goals and perhaps, failing in execution and going down 4-2. You want to be able to close out games strong and execute the game management you'd want to execute in a tight game. So you're absolutely right, Ben. This is something where you want to be able to manage the game and you want to go out not giving up any more goals and act as though it is a 1-goal lead because then you're ready in those situations. And obviously, 4, 5, 6 goals, whatever. If the game is even more wide open, then maybe you have a little bit more leeway. But Stockton has done a good job still down the stretch of applying pressure up top. The Glens don't want to give up a goal here in transition. Right on cue.
Here comes
They get a
Stockton.
transition chance.
And good transition defense. Mia Buddha takes it away.
Defense. Great defense. But as I was saying, just, you don't want to go out of a game that you've been leading by 3 goals, giving up a goal right at the end. You'd rather manage the game well, keep your possession, run down that time, and walk away with that 3-goal lead.
Mia Watanabe. All battled at midfield. And good effort, but unable to keep it in play for Piper. Good physical play by Emily Moberly.
Yeah, she had her hands up. That was the issue. She definitely had her hands up and grabbed at the back of that Stockton player, so that's going to result in a whistle.
86th minute now as Stockton looks to at least get a late goal. And that one sent too far. Well, for the latest in Bay Area sports, check out Sports Night Live, which airs weeknights at 10:45 p.m. on Cron 4. You might see highlights from today on there. Sports Night Live every weeknight, 10:45 p.m. on Cron 4. Thanks for joining us today on Cron On. It's been a fun doubleheader as Seha trying to get her second goal, and that's going to earn a corner kick. Our first match today in the men's game, the Glens and Davis Legacy playing to a 1-1 tie. And now the San Francisco Glens in the USLW League up 4-1 on the Stockton Cargo with 4 minutes plus stoppage time remaining.
Now the Glens in their first games to start out this W League season, 4 of 5 have been at home. They're looking at a couple of tough road matches ahead. They face the California Storm on the 2nd. And that game's not going to be easy.
Oh, what a save. Banuelos coming up big again on the scramble in the box. Keeps it 4-1.
So they play a couple of road contests, California Storm and then the Pleasanton Rage. So it'll be interesting to see, can they get as dominant results on the road?
Well, speaking of storm and rage, the weather continues to cause havoc as the wind has been heavy all afternoon.
Ben, get your feet up. Whoa.
That nearly came over to us. Nearly back to your playing days.
Lace up those cleats, Ben.
You don't want me
Don't
on
worry.
your team.
I got you.
There's a reason that I was never good enough to play at really any level. But the effort was always there.
Points for self-awareness, at least, as well. Self-awareness is key.
Watanabe trying to get around the edge. For a couple of years, though, I gotta say, around that 8-9-year-old AYSO level, I was pretty average.
So you're just a few years past your prime.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Couple.
Just a little bit.
Just a few. At least your soccer prime, that is. Still
Yeah.
just in the middle of your broadcasting prime.
Exactly. Yeah, it's funny. Most young kids dream about being professional athletes of the sports they play. I think even when I was 8 years old, I knew that wasn't happening. I wanted to be a broadcaster.
Well, kudos to you. At least you recognized a career that was realistic.
I was a realistic 8-year-old.
I thought I was going to be on the U.S. women's national team. Reality didn't set in until a couple years after 8-9.
You had a good run, though.
Broadcasting the beautiful game, I'll take as a second best career, that is.
And you played in college, which is pretty cool as well.
Yes, I did play college and WPSL for a season, so, not quite women's national team level, but I did play past high school, which was a joy.
Here's a shot from deep and stopped by Banuelos as we're in the 89th minute. We should have at least a few minutes of stoppage time, I would think. We'll get the official number shortly. A 3-goal lead for the Glens. Melissa Banuelos, we've talked about her a little bit in goal, Kylan, and we talked to Coach Shirabi about it as well. But she's been really solid today, especially in the second half. A couple of big saves. This could be a different game without her.
Banuelos has executed really well when she has been under pressure. Even on the goal that Stockton scored, she initially came out and made a great save on the breakaway. That second chance wasn't necessarily her fault by any means. She did what she could to save that first ball, and in general just has made some big stops and been able to shut down some of those counterattack chances for Stockton. She also, you could tell, is solid with her feet. And as Coach mentioned, super important with a team that likes to build out the back and play on the ground. You want to have a goalkeeper who can come out and be able to handle it and stay composed under pressure. From everything we've seen today, Banuelos has done exactly that. No, close bobbles, no, errant passes off her feet. She's kept everything really clean. And one thing to keep in mind for folks watching is that we're going to have another doubleheader being broadcast on Cronon on June 11th, and it's going to be a doubleheader against the Oakland teams. The Oakland Roots, Project 510 at their USL 2 level, and then the Oakland Soul at W League level. That's coming up on June 11th, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
Should be great matches in a couple of weeks from now as we have 2 minutes of stoppage time.
That'll be a similar format with a 12:30 and 3:30 game, so make sure to mark your calendars if you're a fan of watching this level of soccer, which has been really fun to watch.
Yeah, there's certainly some great talent here, and it's a great opportunity for a lot of college players, younger players, anyone trying to reach that next level, and I think we're going to see several do just that.
Especially in this W League side. We've talked about it all day, but for the Glens, so many U.S. youth national team talent out here. I wouldn't be surprised if we see these players go on to have super successful careers, whether it be with the USL Super League or in other professional leagues.
Free kick for Stockton. We played about 90 seconds of stoppage time, another 30 seconds at least before this one goes in the books as another win for the San Francisco Glens. Going to improve to 5-0 They have been dominant this year. 25 goals scored, just 2 given up. Ellie Piper looking for one more. Nice ball, shot, and a diving save by Collins. I thought that might be ticketed. Collins coming up big.
Great save by Collins, laying out, diving, timing that save really well and reacting to what was a bullet. Watch that shot going towards the left side. She lays out, gets 2 hands strongly on it to punch it away as far as she can from goal. Really, really well done by the Stockton keeper.
Maya Beltran, you're right, got everything on it.
Bullet off her foot. Credit, though, on that last play to Ellie Piper. She made a run from the outside back position all the way up the field. Watched her sprint. She played all 90 here today, and she was ready to attack on goal. Ultimately laid it off for Beltran in a really nice pass, but how about that kind of effort and speed at the last minute of the game when she hasn't come out or had a sub for a single second?
So our final score today, the San Francisco Glens beat Stockton Cargo SC 4-1. Glens a perfect 5-0 on the season. Stockton now 2-3. We'll take a quick break before we come back with our postgame show presented by Liga X. We'll have highlights, analysis, stats, lots of good stuff still to come. Don't go anywhere on Chron On.
Nesquik, you got a strawberry back there? That's chocolate. That's vanilla. Quick plan. Now we're talking. Bunnies up, buddy.
Here's to that classic, delicious taste. Bunnies up, buddy.
We are missing poses.
You mean passes?
No, poses. The secret to winning is to pause.
I'm taking a step back. Sometimes you gotta stop to be, you know, an actual human.
Take a minute to celebrate, right?
Or 20.
Pause is power.
Nesquik, you got a strawberry back there? That's chocolate. That's vanilla. Quick plan. Now we're talking. Bunnies up, buddy.
Here's to that classic, delicious taste. Bunnies up, buddy.
I don't even remember who had the assist on all the goals.
Yeah,
I'm like, who had a goal and an assist? I don't know. Someone did.
4-1 our final. Glens 5-0 on the season. They take down Stockton Cargo SC. An impressive win again for the Glens as the fog continues to roll in here at Skyline College. Ben Ross, Kylan Mills with you on Chron On. Thanks for joining us today. This was a fun doubleheader, Kylan. A tie for the men in the first game and a 4-1 win for the Glens in the W League.
The Glens women's team continues to dominate the way they have here in NorCal play. It was a strong start for the Glens. Really good in possession, sharp ball movement, did a good job of creating opportunities off the kickoff. They were able to capitalize on one early off the foot of Nadia Gomes, and then a counterattack opportunity, Miri O'Donnell with a great run forward. It was a pretty ball played to her. She had great composure and was able to chip the keeper to score that second one to put the Glens up 2 heading into half. Now, this is where things got interesting because Stockton started taking more chances, throwing way more numbers forward, and really putting the Glens under pressure in their defensive third. The Glens back line did a good job of holding up well. They unfortunately did give up the 1 goal. However, overall, they were able to weather the storm, and they were able to start to shift the momentum a little bit about midway through the half after giving up that goal. They score the 3rd and 4th. It was a good response from the Glens after giving up a goal and really having to weather the storm of a lot of pressure from Stockton, which started to really hold their line high and throw numbers forward.
Yeah,
overall, strong performance.
I think, you know, we talked with Mike Chirabi about falling behind 1-0 last game and seeing how they responded. I think not necessarily that he will like giving up the goal today and some of the momentum shift, but I think he'll like having his team get that experience of trying to shift the momentum back in their direction. And as you said, they did just that, scoring that 4th goal eventually and winning it 4-1.
The Glens responded after giving up that goal. There was some momentum shift for a period in the second half, and they were able to respond. They were able to recollect, and here down the stretch, maybe the last 15 minutes, the Glens started to have some good possession, and then they were able to create some counterattack opportunities themselves because Stockton was so high and so stretched up the field. good composure. Also got to give a lot of credit as we're looking at a couple more of the Glens goals. The Glens substitutions came in and provided a spark and provided energy. Even as time was winding down, the last 10 minutes, you're trying to hold on to that lead. There was a shift as well when those subs came on. They ended up creating that fourth goal. Credit goes to Mia Watanabe for making a great run and then playing that ball across to Tran, who was able to finish it. The subs did their jobs, and right as I was talking about them coming in, you're looking for that depth piece. You're looking for players who are going to come in and really go all out and to help elevate the level. The Glens subs did exactly that, and that's what you're looking for.
You see the fog continue to roll in as the Glens get the 4-1 win. Let's look at our final stats. It was a much more even second half. The shots were 10-0 at halftime, and you see 7-7 there in the second half. Shots on goal still favored the Glens 8-3, so a nice response by Stockton, but the Glens still able to get the win. Kylan, you're going to have the interview coming up with our Liga X player of the game. I'm excited to see who that's going to be. Lots of options today for the Glens, who win it 4-1. We'll take a break, and then Kylan will be back with that interview right after this.
I started playing when I was about 5 because my older brother played, and I tell this to everyone, but I was a super competitive child. I wanted to do everything that he did, but better. So I started my very first day when I was 5 at my local community team, and yeah, I loved it ever since. I fell in love with it. I heard that Bay Area was starting to push for a better league in the USLW, and I love the girls, love the team, and then I'm here at the Glens, loving it, amazing. I think it's fantastic, and it's a really great place to be as I try and stay at the top of my game and at the highest level possible as I prepare for my seasons and hopefully try to make a World Cup squad.
Amy is a very physical player, but she also has an excellent touch. She can break teams down. She's comfortable on the ball. She is an outlet for our team when we look to get out from the back and play out from the back. And she can score goals. She can set up goals. She is a complete player.
I think that overall I'm trying to be a mainstay on my national team. I'm still on the edge of it and trying to just work my way back in, trying to establish myself amongst the team, which are pretty well established. And then eventually I want to go pro, go overseas as soon as I graduate and keep playing at the highest level possible, and then just go as far as I can.
Welcome back here to our Cron On broadcast, and we are joined now by our Liga MX player of the game, goalkeeper Isa Banuelos. Congratulations on the win for your team. Your team goes up 3-0, and then the Stockton Cargo really started applying a lot of pressure to your back line, putting a lot of numbers forward. How do you feel like your defense weathered that storm?
I think it was really difficult coming into second half knowing that the wind was against us, but I think our team responded really well. They did get an early goal in, but I think especially when our subs came in, we were able to keep, instead of like just trying to kick it. Our subs came in and we were able to get another early goal.
You made a couple of massive stops, especially one there on a ball bouncing in the box. You ran out and were able to really just put that one down. You took some contact as well and went down, but just what was that like to be facing so much pressure there down the stretch and to come up huge?
It was very different. Our first couple games, I haven't had coming into this game, and getting a couple saves felt really good. Knowing that I saved it, we weren't able to get another goal on us was really great.
Your team responded also with a huge fourth goal late in the game. A couple of substitutions were made, and some players really came on and made a difference. What does that say about the depth of this group?
I think it just shows that like our chemistry together, no matter who subbed out and who comes in, like we can still work together and like achieve our initial goal to just get another win.
Tough road contest coming up next week. California Storm lay ahead. What is the focus this week going into practice?
Yeah, so we have 2 trainings this week. I think as long as we keep everything up, keep practicing and working together, it's just to get another win, especially on the road, it's going to be really beneficial for us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations on the win. Our Liga MX player of the game, Isa Banuelos.
Thank you.
Awesome. And hand off the Liga MX prize here. All right, and we're going to tag in head coach Mike Shirabi joining us now here on the postgame show. Coach, congratulations on the win. Your team came out really possessing well, playing the style of soccer you like to play. How do you feel like they started this game?
Yeah, I think we had a great start to the match. You know, it's always important to have a good start. It kind of sets the flow for the whole game. And we were pleased with the start. We got up and really settled into the match and just kind of took it over from there. So we're happy with the start.
You talked before the game about Nadia Gomes being such a threat in the attack. Speaking of the strong start, she puts one in on a really pretty finish. What type of invigoration does she give this offense?
Yeah, Nadia possesses, and so when we're able to get her on the ball and isolate her 1v1 with the defender, it's very hard to stop her. And she was able to pick the ball, cut in onto her and put the ball in the back of the net. And we're fortunate to have her. She's got experience with the Orlando Pride and also for the Portuguese national team. So we're very happy.
Now, Stockton really started throwing a lot of numbers forward, applying a lot of pressure to your back line in the second half. How do you feel like your defense did in trying to protect the lead?
Yeah, you know, it's difficult to play into the wind, and the elements are always going to be there, but I thought our girls did a great job. We were tested, which is what you want. You want your team to be tested, and so we were tested. They brought the high press, and they put us under pressure. They got a goal. They got back into the game, and it forced us to really adjust and adapt, and I thought we did an excellent job of that, getting the fourth goal and kind of putting the game away, but really proud of the girls' effort and how they responded to giving up that goal.
You mentioned that fourth goal. A couple of subs came on and really provided a little bit of a spark and some energy late in the game. Mia Watanabe made a really nice diagonal run and then played that ball across. What does that say about the depth of this group? Yeah, actually all three players that were involved in that play came off the bench. Maya, Mia, and T putting it away, and they came right in and impacted the game, and that's what you want out of your substitutions. You want them to come in, and you want our reserves to come in and show, hey, maybe you should start me, maybe you should give me some more time, and we want that healthy competition. So we're pleased when our difference makers can come in off the bench and make a difference. Well, they certainly did. That fourth goal really just seemed to put this match away. Now, looking ahead to next week, a tough road contest against the California Storm. What is the approach this week in practice?
Yeah, we're going to approach it. It is a big game, but we look at every game as a big game. We want to focus in training this week on doing the little things right. If you do the little things right, the big things will take care of themselves, and the big things are the results. So this week we're not going to change anything up with what we've been doing. We're going to continue moving in the right direction and look to kind of take another step up that mountain because we're trying to get to the top. So we know we have a tough task going on the road and playing an excellent team, but we feel that we prepare for that, and we're prepared, and we'll go in there and give everything to get that result for our squad.
You brought up the elements. More than 15-mile-per-hour winds by the end of this match, your team going into the wind. What does them closing this game out say about the character of this group?
Yeah, it says a lot. They possess great character, and it was on display. It's on display in every game, but really when we went down a goal a couple games ago, the girls came back, and knowing at halftime that we were going to come out in the second half with the wind in our face, we made sure that we were ready for that, and we did what we could. We got the ball out of our half, we finished our chances, and on to the next.
Awesome. Well, head coach Mike Shirabi, thank you so much for the time and joining us here on the broadcast, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We'll send it back to Ben now to close out today's broadcast.
All right, Kylan, thanks. Great job. I want to thank everyone here at Cron On and BAOSN, Ben Ross, Kylan Mills. It was a fun doubleheader today. The San Francisco Glens winning 4-1 over Stockton Cargo SC. And just about does it for us. Hope you enjoyed our doubleheader. We got a few more streaming matches coming up for you in the next few weeks. So hope you'll join us for those as well. 4-1 our final. The Glens improved to 5-0 Have a great rest of your weekend. So long from Skyline College.